Good morning, all of you beautiful people. Welcome to Coffee and Crypto Live. It is Positive Friday, so if you need some positivity in your life, you found the right show. Grab yourself some coffee. We're about to talk a little coffee, also talk some crypto, as well as talk about a couple other things. In case you guys hadn't heard, Queen Elizabeth died yesterday. So all of our UK fans, we are... condolences. We're giving them all to you guys. I don't know exactly what this means for the future of your country exactly, but our condolences are with you guys. It's going to be interesting how that plays out. In the crypto world, though, of course, you cannot go too far into the show without talking about that Bitcoin pump we've had this morning and late last night. Go real quickly to my screen here, Smay. It's something that we talked about yesterday. I thought we were going to drop to about 18,000 first and then start to shoot up, but we didn't wait for that. We went ahead and shot up right through the zone. The next level I told you guys to keep an eye on was about 19.7, 19.8, somewhere in that region. Well, we just blasted all through that. So keep your eyes on this the rest of the day. We're going to be doing more TA later. Tom Crown hopefully is joining the show. I think he was having some technical difficulties this morning, but he should be joining. I'm going to get his take on this as well. But we shot through, and technically this is the beginning of canceling out this secondary downtrend where we need to start setting higher highs and higher lows. So will we continue to climb? Will we come down a little bit more, turning something that used to be resistance into support and setting that higher low? Make sure you stay with us for the entire show as we cover all of that. You can go off my screen now, Smay. There's other things that are happening very, very interesting. I want to get Tom's take. I want to hear all your guys' take about that Bitcoin dominance chart, which just tested a support level and is bouncing back up. In case you hadn't noticed, even though Ethereum, Cardano, and other altcoins had rallied as well this morning, if you were to go look at their charts, ETH over Bitcoin, Cardano over Bitcoin, you're going to see they're actually in the red. Bitcoin is leading this short little rally, and I want to see what happens. We had a lot of other exciting things happening today. By the way, at the end of today's show, it is Friday, so we will be giving the HODL Trophy winners. It looks like in office it's going to be TShroom, but we're also announcing the winner for the fans who won, and so it's a tight race. There's a couple people that are close and vying for it. You got to wait until 10:55 to find out who won the community HODL Trophy. With that being said, though, go ahead and smash that like button. If this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel. I am joined by two fantastic co-hosts. First of all, to my right, I got TShroom in white.
Aloha.
Aloha, that's the new greeting. I love it. I also have my technical director and the Turtle King, Smay himself, over to my left. How you doing this morning, Smay?
Konnichiwa.
Oh, we're going international now. I don't know enough languages. Hola would be the easiest one to go with.
What about ni hao?
No. We're going to keep moving on here, though. Speaking of Smay, one of the favorite things that Smay gets to do every single morning, Monday through Friday on the show, is read us some green names. So, Smay, why don't you go ahead and to let us know who's in chat repping those green names?
Oh, gee, Tim, I would love to. All right, so here we got, let's see here. We got Brad Geidel, Crypto Alchemist, Greg Jenkins, Grand Ring Incorporated, Mitch Shaw, Amello Fellow, Jojo, Colin McDonald, Elliot Locke gifted 5 memberships. That's so many more green names. I'm going to read those. We got Queen. We got Freedom Advocate. We got It's 420 Wood CSR2. And then Josh Dunham. And so many more great people that I love reading their names. Tristan Williams and Dr. Fuzzy Eyeball and GoGo CJC. I love all of you guys.
Excellent.
Speaking of those green names, by the way, we announced here yesterday, in case you didn't watch the show, on Tuesday, so next Tuesday, we're going to be having another community stream, and all of our green names get to go into that chat. Our blue names as well. By the way, I don't know if we announced all of our blue names and said their names. Matt C is in chat. We always got TShroom. Of course, he's in office in chat as well. Were there any other? Mike Markle usually is here, and I think he's here. Anthony Allen is in this morning. I'm sure that we're going to get Shannon
Anthony
Sharp in
Allen
here very soon. Thank you to all of our mods that continue alongside those green names. Make this the most uplifting, most amazing crypto community out there in the entire world. It is so exciting every day that I get to come with you guys. I tell my wife all the time, like, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that's stressful. There's a lot of stuff that I'm like, all right, every single day is a challenge. Work is work. That is what it is. Mine and fiat, as well as trying to gobble more supply of Bitcoin. But One of my absolute favorite things is to actually be on the show and talk with you guys. And then it just gets even better when I get to interact with you guys. So over on Club DeFi in those office hours, those are some of my favorite moments throughout the day. On those community streams that we have not done a lot recently, but we're going to be doing a lot more of, those are some of my favorite things to do. It's the behind the scenes stuff that's not always that fun, but I'm always glad to be in front of you guys, with you guys, interacting with you guys. It is the best. You know, before we move on though, we got about 300 people watching, 66 likes, so that's not the greatest ratio in the world. Let's go ahead and continue to smash that like button, everybody. If you love crypto, if you're excited about what is happening, big stuff coming. We're about to get into that with our market pulse with TShroom. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. With that being said, though, which is one of our favorite segues when we're transitioning into a new segment, our market pulse this morning is brought to you by the company Hedge. Most of you guys know who they are. Most of you have probably even interacted with Hedge and gone ahead and using it. In case you don't know what it is, though, it allows you to be paid directly in crypto. That's right. You do not have to wait for your company to adopt crypto. Instead, you can set up your automatic deposit to go directly into crypto to DCA at these low levels and save yourself some exchange fees. If you want to get more crypto and get as much of it as possible without paying those pesky exchange fees, go ahead and use Hedge. There's a link in the description down below. And when you use our link, you get $10 of free Bitcoin. So little perk right there. With that being said, next transition, I'm throwing it over to TShroom for our market pulse.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, that can mean only one thing, and that is that you are in the market pulse, baby. Let's get it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen. I'm going to start today on CoinMarketCap, actually, because there has been some really, really significant developments here. Bitcoin, as you can see, Bitcoin up not almost 10% right now. Ethereum up 6%. Let's see, BNB up 5%. So kind of tailing behind there. Cardano up almost 6%. Same with XRP. So kind of trending similarly there. Solana beating both of those. And Polkadot kind of walloping all those, almost up 10%. This is as of right now. So this is a snapshot view. Let's see. I wanted to get into the double digits here, and you don't have to go far to see that. Cosmos up 22%, almost 23%. You could call it 23. There, Litecoin up 7.5. Uniswap up 9. So we don't know exactly why this pop is happening. We're some speculate a little bit in this show, but and I'm hesitating to say I'm grateful because so often crypto giveth and then crypto taketh away, but. We will be moving forward. Here, we're going to move on to the Fear and Greed Index, where it has ticked to more fear, but perhaps something. So yesterday, we ticked away from fear, and perhaps that had something to do with today's bump. Probably not, though. So the Fear and Greed.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think that when that number came out, that number more than likely, even though it says updated December 9th, more often than not, they're taking the numbers from last night. And the rally on Bitcoin didn't really start. Let me go to the hourly chart. The rally didn't pick up a whole lot of steam. Come on now, chart. Why are you taking forever to load? I think it's because I'm not plugged into the internet there, Smay. All right, but it started happening at midnight or late last night at 11 p.m. is when this rally really started to pick up steam.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that number fully takes that into account.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kind of cancel out the Fear and Greed Index for right now. I think this market we've just moved into doesn't have to do much with the Fear and Greed Index. That's why I'm kind of pumping through it quickly. But in just a second, we're going to be hearing from some crazy comments coming out of the White House. But before we do that, let's go ahead and check out the CME future prediction tool for the Fed rate. And that is still pretty much the same, unchanged, 85%, that we're going to have a 75 basis point hike coming out of the Fed on the 21st. But as of now, we're all locked and loaded, eyes purely fixed on the 13th when we get that inflation print, which folks are expecting to be lower. I count myself among those. Let's move into the stories, though. Here's why Terra Classic price has soared by 250% in September. And for folks, if you're invested in Terra, this is not going to be a pump, dance here. This is going to be a little bit of a bearish report on this, but Terra Classic has been outperforming the crypto markets, guys, up 250% month to date, reaching this fraction of a cent here. But why is it doing this? Well, ever since they they kind of came out with their staking service, it has pumped. And so right now you can actually get, what is it, 37%. So data from Staking Rewards shows that staking Terra Classic is returning users with an annualized yield of 37.8%, among the highest payout in the crypto industry. And it also has a high staking percentage. So in other words, nearly 9% of the total LUNC supply has been removed from circulation. So that's pretty big. And then they have an ongoing burn, right? So LNC token burn. I'm going to show you that right here. So the burn, Luna Classic rate, total burn is extremely high right here. And right here, they've burned this much just today, right? So 57 million. That's quite a bit, guys. So why is this up? It's because they're doing a bunch of voodoo behind the scenes with their tokenomics. Now, some of you are hearing that, and some of you are looking at some of you are hearing that, and you're saying, that's pretty wild. I still am going to get into it. I don't care what you're saying about that. And, perhaps you'll get some gains. Best of luck to you. But you could also end up being raw meat right there, which is kind of funny. Ad like right there.
Well, I think it's topical because proof of stake. Am I right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go, Smay.
You didn't have the sign for me, Smay. I didn't know to laugh today.
I've probably typed in steak in my address bar so many times it's starting to think steak. But moving right along, you can also see the price here of Terra Classic down 20% today. So if you've been buying this pump, you're probably down right now. Doesn't mean it's not going to come back up. But my overall thesis here, why am I bringing this up in the market pulse? Because we don't want to talk about this in the regular show, the regular discussion, because it's kind of insignificant. But folks, I'm seeing people I know, people I care about that are close to me, kind of FOMO into this. And I'm just going to say, if you're going to do it with fun money, please. Less than fun money, do it with less than fun money. Just don't do it with money that you can't afford to lose, especially. So
yeah, let's real quick. Let's just pause right there. So we're not going to say names. Some of you might know him. Some of you might not. We had a friend text us yesterday, saying, "Guys, I'm considering FOMOing into Luna Classic. What do you think?"
Considering, I thought he said he did.
He said considering. I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
no, he did.
One way or the other, he's asking, "You think this is the right idea?" We kind of got onto him. We're like, "Hey, man, that's just not wise whatsoever. Let's just think through this logically. What is the chance you think you getting in now after this massive rally? What do you think the chance is it keeps going up versus the chance of it crashing horrendously?" He said, "Oh, yeah, probably 90-10. 90 crash, 10%. I said, "Okay. How much money did you put in?" He said $1,000. I said, "All right, are you willing for $1,000 to get put into a dumpster fire and you'll never see it ever again?" He said, "Oh, heck no. No, I said, "Okay, what is your level you're willing to do that?" That's the most you should have on a project like Luna Classic. I'm not saying it will not go up, but anytime, we want you guys to be thinking for yourself. We don't want to give you financial advice, but if you yourself are saying there's a 90% chance of absolute disaster, you should go ahead and treat it as if, worst case scenario, that's absolutely what's going to happen. And is your threshold, I'm willing to throw away $50, $100? Is your threshold $1,000? I don't know. Every single person is different with that. But that is the most you leave in. You don't leave a single dollar that you would hate to see burn in a trash fire in on a project like Luna Classic.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't agree more. And that's why I think it was really important to bring it up here in the Market Pulse. Folks, we're not telling you what to do. Go have fun in crypto. Go as deep into the alts as you want. But just know that there's real risk, and if you're going to do anything silly and fun, just do it with money that you can afford to lose, right? All right, crypto markets see flood of Queen Elizabeth meme coins and NFTs. I think this is kind of borderline disrespectful, but at the same time, it's kind of expected. People do go crazy when celebrities pass away, and they purchase and sell memorabilia on eBay. So it's not like this is the first time. It's not like this is unprecedented, right? It's just, it probably is one of the first times this is happening in the NFT world, that the kind of memorabilia is selling off, being minted and then selling off. So yeah, so we're just going to go through this one pretty quickly. We're nothing really to see here, but this is happening, and it's just kind of highlighting, in my opinion, the desperation and the opportunism in the NFT industry right now. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. But perhaps you think it's funny. I could see the argument of why it's funny and fun to get involved with this, but that's, in my opinion, it's a little off-putting, a little bit of bad taste. But we're early days here, so it's the Wild West. Crypto in other news, crypto investor FTX ventures to take 30% stake in Skybridge Capital, and that is quite a bit of a stake there. But Skybridge Capital is the investment firm founded by Anthony Scaramucci, and they said they will use some of the funds to buy 40 million in cryptocurrencies to hold on its balance sheet as long-term investment, said the Scaramucci led company there. There's Sam Bankman-Fried just helping out the little guy, right? Well, moving along, here we get to the claims by the White House that Bitcoin mining must be greener, or the U.S. should ban it, right? So I said yesterday, there's no talks of banning Bitcoin. So it's fundamentally sound. It's something that you can definitely count on here. But now our fearless leader in the U.S. at least is talking about banning it. And I think that kind of based on what this article goes on to talk about is that there's probably somebody in the White House who's long Ethereum. That's a purely speculation. I have no context to prove that, but this is just, the timing is weird here, guys, because the White House hasn't used the word ban on crypto to my knowledge at all, and now all of a sudden when we're talking about the merge. Anyway, let's get into the article here. Before I do, Tim, what you got?
Well, I think it's really important. I want to hear what this article has to say, but I was trying to look for it this morning when I saw you put this in the Market Pulse, because I was reading an article late last night before going to bed that was talking about, because this had been coming out a little bit yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, right.
It's a FUD story, and the article I was reading was talking about go in and actually look at any document the White House has ever talked about. They have never used that word, ban, when they're talking about Bitcoin mining. This is a FUD article, so I want to hear the details if something new has come out, but I remember reading something last night, and I was trying to look for it this morning, could not find it.
Yeah.
But they were saying, do not fall for this FUD article. The White House has never talked about doing this.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I think that the White House and U.S. national, it's in nobody's interest to ban Bitcoin at this point in time.
Ban the mining of it.
Yeah, and there's no like the climate. The folks who actually care about the climate that are working in the government. That they are. Yeah, they could make an argument for why it be banned, but they don't have enough votes ultimately to try and pass something like that. And I don't think that any president would want to ban something that a bunch of their voters use. So I think that the tokenomics of this decision just doesn't make any sense. But let's read a little bit about it. The White House today suggested the U.S. lawmakers and regulators should crack down on the crypto mining because of its large carbon footprint. It proposed that the government collect more data on power usage from the industry, advanced energy efficient standards, and it promoted the use of environmentally friendly crypto assets. So crypto asset technologies, ding, 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 there, kind of a little bit of, at the very least, the most innocent. This is the White House kind of saying, hey, we like Ethereum. We think that, or we like cryptos that are moving to more environmentally friendly consensus mechanisms, right? And so you can't fault them for that, but I think it's a little weird for decrypt.co to be putting the word ban in there. You're right, Tim. Because I don't see the word ban in the actual article. We'll get to that in just a second, what they do say. But the White House also went as far as to say if the measures to make mining greener don't work, energy-intensive crypto mining, namely Bitcoin, could be banned altogether. Well, I just said that banning wasn't in the article, and there it is. So, it's something that you really do need to think about is could it potentially be banned in the U.S.? And I don't think it could. I think that this statement, again, from the White House is just coming at a time when the merge is happening and, they're taking a side, right? But I don't think they have any intention to actually ban it. So, and then just this last quote, should these measures prove ineffective at reducing impacts, the administration should explore executive actions and Congress might consider legislation to limit or eliminate the use of high energy intensity consensus mechanisms for crypto asset mining, the report said. So, that's all we're going to read from that, but there he is, our chief cyclist and fearless leader, and he's definitely saying some things from the White House that are kind of meant to anger and potentially, anger and the crypto or Bitcoin maximalists, and potentially throw their weight behind projects like Ethereum, and ultimately, what did we see the price of Bitcoin do? It's outpacing Ethereum right now. And it could be that there's some big institutional, some big whales that are talking with their money saying to the White House, yeah, come at us. We can, we're going to buy this thing no matter what. But Tim, I wanted to get your last, because this is a big story, right?
Well, let's just remember what else has come out, this week. Was it this week or last week? I mean, all the days run together. The Vitalik stuff about and the FUD about Bitcoin not being able to stay long term and it being affordable to be secure, and after everything's been mined, there's been a lot of mining FUD recently from Vitalik himself as his project Ethereum moves from mining to staking. Also, this article, something I want to just touch on for our community here. It's always a hot topic whenever clickbait comes up, and we've been accused of clickbait. Here's the thing. Clickbait is a thing. You got to get people's attention. The question is your clickbait truthful and honest and actually helping people, or is it just selling whatever it is? And so that's what I'm kind of even looking at here, TShroom. In this article, this is a clickbait article because obviously right now the topic of mining is hot. The concept of it being an environmental disaster is hot. So if they can grab onto any narrative whatsoever, they can sell articles. They can get their space out there. Obviously, can sell their sponsorships, and they can get room. That's part of the business. You have a business to report news. The question is when you cross the line from being honest and truthful and actually trying to help people with accurate information, and then you cross into a place where you're just trying to get people to click on your article. My question is just that. Is this dishonest, improper clickbait because they attach to a hot concept, and that is, should mining still be around? And there are people on both sides of that fence, but they decided, how cool it would be if we could throw the White House in on top of this. That would get a lot of eyeballs, when in all reality, there's no facts actually saying the White House is considering this. So you got to remember, whenever you read these articles, whenever you do these, read into them, read the details. A couple of you guys remember the article that had a lot of hot topic here a couple weeks ago, when a couple of the staking pool operators from Cardano used the word catastrophic failure. But if you actually read the article and you read what they said and you watched the videos of them talking about it, they were saying it avoided a catastrophic failure, that the testnet is working great. But the headline that was great is saying Cardano Vassal hard fork just had a catastrophic failure. That got more eyeballs than the truth that is, oh, yeah, there was a little bug, but it's being fixed and there's no problem. That's not a very attractive article. That's not very fun to talk about. What's fun is saying, oh no, could Cardano fail? Is it about to die? That gets clicks. So make sure when you see articles like that are so outrageous and could have so much crazy implications on the space that you look into the actual details before you go pressing any narrative. That being said, our favorite transition. Thank you so much, TShroom, for the Market Pulse. We're about to bring on Thomas Crown. Tom Crown, you guys know him, you love him. He's a great technical analysis influencer, and we're going to get his take on a lot of things happening. I want to talk to him about Bitcoin dominance. I want to talk to him about Bitcoin itself. I want to talk to him about ETH and Cardano and some charts. Even if he doesn't pull them up, just getting his thoughts on them. But let's go ahead and bring him on. Tom, how are you doing today? How is your morning going so far?
Hey, Tim. It's Ooh, a little feedback there. It's good to be here. Okay, good feedback's gone. We had some hiccups scheduling this. My bad. It's great to be on. Love your show. Love what you guys do. I was just listening in on the episode, digging what you're talking about. Of course, my eyes are looking at Bitcoin as they always are. Looking at dominance, and a lot of the time I've been looking actually at the dollar more so forex pairs lately, and there's a lot going on here, and there's not too much time left in the year, and especially coming into the U.S. primaries, usually a big time economically. We have the Ethereum fork, we have Cardano, and we have the FOMC meeting, and these all are kind of like overlapping. We have a lot of events ahead, so I think we have some spicy seas coming our way.
We do. And before we dive into all of that crypto, it's time for a little coffee break with our question of the day. TShroom, what is our question for today that we're asking everybody to answer in chat?
We've got a good question today, Tim. And before I read it, I just want to say, Smay, do not go to my screen. So the question of the day is, would you rather always have BO and not know it, or always smell BO on everyone else?
Ooh.
I'll read it one more time. Would you rather always have BO and not know it, or always smell BO on everyone else?
Tom, I'm gonna let you go first on that one.
I'm gonna go with smell it on everyone else.
Yeah.
That way, at least it's not me.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I wasn't prepared for this one.
Yeah, I mean that's the purpose. Got to catch you off guard. My answer. I'll go next. I actually was thinking, because I knew the question before we went live, and I didn't know what I wanted to answer. That is a hard, of all the questions of the days we had so far, this is one of the hardest. I think, gosh, it's so hard. I think I'd rather smell it on everyone else and then just try to be kind and not tell them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got to go with that one. I don't want everyone thinking that of me, but
Smay, what
that's
do you
hard.
got?
Well, considering the fact that I have a notoriously very weak gag reflex, I think I'd make a lot of people feel really bad about themselves. I don't think I could hide it. I don't think I could hide it if I was smelling how bad everyone was. So the reality is I would rather smell bad, because the fact of the matter is I feel like I already kind of smell bad, and everyone doesn't seem to make a fuss about it. So you seem to be kind of vibing, and no one's mean enough to say, hey, bro, you smell bad. So it's good.
Goodness. How about you, TShroom? Wrap it up.
I actually am going to follow the same logic as Smay. I selfishly, everybody else can smell me, but I don't want to have to smell everyone else.
That's right. That's right.
That's the way I'll wrap that one out.
That's right.
All right. Well, the chat, I don't know. The chat's a little bit split. I see a couple people saying they'd rather smell the BO. Some people saying they'd rather have it on themselves. It's continue to answer that in chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say on that one. But let's go ahead and transition back into some crypto. Tom, you and I were talking a little bit this morning before we went live via Twitter, just talking back and forth. One thing that I thought was really interesting you were talking about is this your second bear market, third?
Oh man, it just feels like in crypto it's always a bear market. The good times come and they go so fast. So 2.5 maybe,
2.5, okay.
Something like that.
Well, you were saying this morning, you're like, this bear market is just very different. Like you think you can predict something because you've been through others, and this one is just reacting very different. I want you to go in a little detail. Why is it, do you think, that this bear market's acting so much different than the past ones, and what should we be expecting moving forward?
All right, yeah. I guess I'll start this off with I got caught. I'll be the first to admit it when I'm wrong. I was totally modeling this cycle to look like the last, to look like the previous before that, and it caught me off guard. It really didn't play out that way. We didn't see nearly the upside gain. Hype really died kind of after, I'd say 65, maybe in summer of 2021. Hype really died then, and people didn't really get excited that much at 69, and the whole sentiment has really simmered, and it's really, definitely bearish, definitely fear, but there's just a different vibe to it. I'm not really sure how to describe it. Maybe it's maybe there's not quite as much hopelessness as the previous ones, and I think I might have a reason for that. And in my opinion, it's, well, back in 2016, 17, Bitcoin, people like me believed that, it was never going away and that it was here to stay and there was no chance of its failure. But that wasn't really an accepted idea at that point. At that point, it was pretty commonplace for people to have doubts of crypto and its future and, how it fit into the future coming. And I think maybe that is kind of what's impacting it here. I don't think that people necessarily believe that, or at least they don't at the same scale as the previous bear markets. I think people might say, well, yeah, we have a long period of kind of painful price action, maybe 2 years, 3 years, whatever. But I hear less of the, crypto is going to go away. It's going to have a complete failure event. And maybe that is kind of the different, maybe that's what makes it a little different.
Yeah, I think that has to do with, something that we had a different guest on, Mark Yusko, came on the channel, and he was talking about the concept of the early couple years of Bitcoin was a phase where just the whole world kind of ignored it. It really wasn't anything to talk about. People were really excited when Bitcoin got up to $100. It's like, all right, that's, whatever. No, that's just something annoying over there. Then you kind of entered into the phase around probably, sometime around 2017 or so, where it's like, all right, they started laughing, or probably a little bit before 2017, but they, people started laughing at Bitcoin, saying, oh, yeah, some people make some money in it, but that's that cute little coin over there that everyone thinks is gonna take over the future, but it's not really. And we've entered here in the last couple of years, we've entered into the zone where they're actually starting to fight it. Do you think that potentially plays into the narrative, is that the last bear market, it was still kind of a coin where the majority of the world was laughing at it, whereas now everyone recognizes Bitcoin is here. The question is, will it stay and will it be dominant? Could that be the reason the narrative is so different, that people are still hopeful? It's not a laughing matter anymore. It's actually a frustrating issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hope I'm wrong, but if my history and experience serves me, that means that we have to see a lot more pain, because we have to convince people, that it is over. That maybe that is what's missing, is every bear market, it's had that feeling of it's over. It's never going to come back. And I think people have the sense of it's over for now and it will come back. And that is a big difference in mindset. And that probably is a big reflection on the way they invest. And that's not even getting into the entire macroeconomic state of the world, which you don't have to address, all that today. But Bitcoin's never seen any time like right now. It started in October 2009, right after the 2008 kind of bubble. And it has it's grown up in a bull market. And people are starting to wonder if we're still in a global bull market. That you can argue we are, you can argue we aren't. That might be impacting it as well. However, I think a really good reminder, especially for the newer people out there, is that this is the event. And people used to call us kind of tinfoil hat or doom preppery people. We're not rooting for everything to collapse, but Bitcoin was created because the cypherpunks saw a flaw in the system. They saw that this system does not work. And so they created a solution. They created an alternate network of monetary policy. I can't use my words today. They created an alternate. And so this is what it was created for. It doesn't necessarily mean it has to go straight up when things go bad, but in some ways it's kind of what we've been waiting for. The farther back you started in crypto, the more you were waiting maybe for things to kind of hit the fan, so they say.
That's really good. Let's go ahead and transition though into some charts, and let's start with that Bitcoin dominance chart because it's really interesting. I want you to be able to share your screen and talk through it. I know you said that you actually talk about this very frequently when you're doing your charting on your channel. But that Bitcoin dominance chart right now, this morning bounced off of a descending level of support.
Tim, I regret to report that I'm not getting a screen feed from you.
Again. I'm definitely plugged in.
Yeah, you want to unplug and plug back in? See what happens?
These freaking technical difficulties. Goodness gracious.
They're coming for my life. They're coming for my life today.
They're coming for you.
It's a fad today.
You're good.
Do you have me on? Yeah. Okay.
We're good.
And we're going to be really quickly on my screen because I want to go over to his and I want to get his take on it. But you guys see, ever since right here on May 21st of 2021, we started, and the third touch over here in January of this year kind of confirmed how significant that trend line is, but we just bounced off of it once again. And there's a couple of things I could say about my opinion, but I'm really interested to hear what you think about this, Tom. What is the significance of this level, and what do you think is the significance of potentially Bitcoin after, because it was just a couple of days ago, people were talking about how Bitcoin dominance being this low during a bear market is so weird. Now it's starting to gain it back. What are the implications of this short little rally on Bitcoin dominance chart for Bitcoin and other altcoins down the road?
Yeah, maybe this is another factor that we were talking about of this is so different. So if I did this on my stream a little bit ago, I do love this topic, so maybe I can walk you guys through it here. Let me see if my screen share works. There we go. Hopefully that works. Yeah. So this is a long time ago because logically at some point, Bitcoin was the only coin. So it really had no competition. We had 99% dominance. That lasted essentially until new coins were created. And from then on, Bitcoin could never be 100%. 100%. For those of you who don't know, Bitcoin dominance is Bitcoin's market cap versus the total cryptocurrency market cap. And once anything exists, it can no longer be 100. So it's kind of intrinsically bearish from the start. But this is back before really coins or altcoins gained any momentum. And in 2016 into 17, as we saw the crazy bull run, all these coins started exploding. And what we saw was dominance dive just completely from February 17th. It really dove straight down. I'm trying to give you a good story narrative here, visual. You can see it fell all the way from 95 to 35% of the total market. And along the way, we saw some bounces. And these were likely when Bitcoin moved up and altcoins saw a little pain or a little pullback. And it casually bounced all the way down to a low of 35. That apexed or hit its bottom January 2018. And that was the end of the bull run. That's when we saw alts do their blow off tops. Ethereum, Litecoin, everything was going nuts. That was it. It was over. After that day, Bitcoin dominance trended back up. And this was the bear market. The bear market began and Bitcoin dominance returned to about 60%, went a little bit higher to 70. And basically what we can assume here is this is investors' risk appetites kind of shedding. The market's bleeding. They kind of pull back their speculation and they move back into Bitcoin or the more stable asset or maybe the one they believed in more. And so we saw alts contract. And the exact same thing happened again this cycle. Let me hide this. The exact same thing happened. We saw Bitcoin dominance dive, but instead of the same kind of movement we saw in 2017, it really just took one large dump, excuse my language, and then just moved sideways. It very unusual. We didn't see any of those bounces that we had seen in 2017. We really just saw range trading from May 21st on. And I actually didn't catch this candle today. I'm glad that I'm on the show. I wouldn't have even noticed. We did see dominance break its 2021 low. However, it still didn't break 2018's low. And this is something I absolutely was expecting to happen in this bull run, or in maybe the bull run that has passed us, to see a new Bitcoin dominance low. It only makes sense. There's maybe 10 times more projects. There's a lot of development, a lot of building going on, and there's a lot of opportunity in crypto. And so value can seek out other places. With this falling, this would line up more with a blow off top, at least in the one example size we have, which is certainly not enough to really make a definite conclusion. But Bitcoin dominance losing its low has really lined up more so with Bitcoin USD moving up. And so now to be down in 1920K, that low to break, yes, this candle today is pretty nice. I like that. I really didn't see that. I enjoy that. But this doesn't fit what we've seen in the past. And we can maybe attribute it to stable coins. We can attribute it to a plethora, of different things, but none of them fully explain why this is happening. I'm curious even of your thoughts, because I thought we would see lower. I thought we would see down in the 35s, maybe even down into the 30s, but it does seem like it's maybe doing a little bounce here, maybe going to return to like 43%. But I'm kind of stuck and I can't seem to find, there it is, the stop screen share button. A lot of twists. This is just, again, another example of it not really fitting the previous cycle. And as it drops, we see alts typically should gain, at least against Bitcoin, that will gain against Bitcoin. Typically leads to some green in the markets. And we are seeing a little bit of that today, but not really what I would expect. I don't know, Tim, what do you think is causing Bitcoin dominance to act differently?
Yeah, well, the first thing, as you mentioned, I'll just be in complete agreement with you. You can go to my screen now, Smay. Hopefully it's still working. What he's talking about with my screen not working, not that you can't see me, is that you guys can't see my chart. There we go. He's working. All right, so that is weird that we are in a bear market and it's low. As Tom was saying, these bottoms actually are usually talking, when you were in the past, these are actually referring to peaks more often than not. These are not necessarily referring to bottoms of bear markets. So it's really curious. But let's just talk about the price action right here. Let's just talk about this chart. If you were looking at this chart, you're trying to trade this chart, it does look like this strong level support. We could be seeing a rally to the upside. Now, one thing I'm going to caution you guys on is it doesn't mean we're just going to shoot up there right now. If you guys are looking at these other bounces, this one shoots up really fast and keeps going up. But these other ones kind of wait a little bit. This one touched, went back up, came back down, touched it again, even took his time a little bit over the next couple of days going up. What I'm keeping my eye out for when I'm looking at this dominance chart is this is not necessarily a guarantee that the entire crypto space rallies up together. This just means if they fall, other alts will fall faster than Bitcoin, and this chart can continue to climb even though every single price is falling. They could all go up together, and if this price rises, that's really good for Bitcoin. Like, if Bitcoin continues to gain dominance and all the prices are going up, that's just amazing. And on this morning, this wick right here is actually just that, and it makes me consider, Tom, and I want to get your take on this here in just a second, switching over to my Bitcoin over Tether on Binance. This is something I've been discussing here the last couple of days. That's a massive candle right there on the daily chart here on the Bitcoin over USDT. But look at the volume increasing. Really quickly, I'm going to jump over and show you guys the Bitcoin chart. Let me go out to the daily chart and look at the volume for this. This is something which, by the way, let me get rid of the VRVP, or that's not VRVP, that's actually the fixed volume profile. This is something that we're seeing the exact opposite happening. Bitcoin over USD had a spike in volume when we dipped out here over in June, going down to 17.5 versus flipping back over to the Tether. Our volume, it had a little bit of a spike, but it's actually increasing. And you guys can see that faint blue line. That faint blue line continues to increase, which is the average of all of it. It is continuing to increase, which makes me question, Tom, and this is going to be my question for you. Is this, what we're seeing happen right now, Is this the whales and institutions, instead of moving their money into USD, they're moving their money into Tether because what they're waiting for is a better opportunity to buy? Like right now, a lot of them probably did look at this and say, hey, let's buy Bitcoin. But did they simply buy right here this morning just to take profit potentially up around 23,000? And we can talk about 23,000 here in a little bit, but will they then take profit, move that money back into Tether to then later either buy a better buy spot for Bitcoin, maybe down towards $15,000 or lower, or will they start to flow into Ethereum or Cardano, which have a lot of bigger fundamental updates coming? And we talked about that on the show yesterday. Everyone likes to talk about price, but price is downstream from fundamentals. Right now, Bitcoin's fundamentals are strong, but there's no real updates coming on that. Ethereum and Cardano, on the other hand, have massive updates coming on their fundamentals, and we got to wait a little bit. Are potentially whales taking some Bitcoin? They're going to get some profit here. We're seeing it increase, only to then take their bite out of it, crash the market back down, and then either look for a good Bitcoin buy spot or go look for another altcoin buy spot. What are your thoughts about that right there?
Wow. Holy. I usually use Coinbase. So at BTC USD, I typically chart that. And I'll admit, I haven't looked actually at, say, Binance's USDT pair. And those volumes, that is enlightening. I'm actually really happy you pointed that out. Wow, that is completely different. I'll go ahead and share my screen for a second here. If we look at this is Binance, we even have our average volume, this little white line trending up here. Our average volume is actually at the highest point that Binance maybe has ever seen. And we can argue, but I think we might as well just kind of, for the sake of making it simple, not argue this, that Binance's volume might be, maybe not quite reflective of reality. There might be a little fudging of the numbers there, but this is significant. That is the highest volume. That's higher than even the average volume back in the crash of March. And if you look at BTC USD on Coinbase, that's not the case. The volume is very lackluster. In fact, it's really kind of the same volume we've seen since July of 21. So on USD pair, I'm not seeing any real sign, but on the USDT pair, this is very spicy. What does that imply? I guess it does imply that they're going more into Tether than they are to just the dollar, and that's keeping money in the ecosystem. Typically, or before Tether existed, you could only cash out into Bitcoin or directly into dollars. This is money being kept in there, and maybe it is in anticipation of these upcoming events, and that might even line up kind of well with dominance rallying here. Maybe we see dominance rally, and then all these events happen, and that falls back down, and maybe it goes to a new low. Maybe then Bitcoin follows, and Bitcoin goes up, and we could then, this is all hopium. If Bitcoin went up to a new high, then all of a sudden this cycle looks really similar to the last ones. It's been like a hunch I've had. It's not something I'm confident enough to bet on at the moment, but it's kind of a hunch I've had because almost all of the years I've been in crypto, there's always been a point where it's like, man, this is really different. This isn't like the time before. And then something happens and all of a sudden it all lines up again. So that would be a very interesting Jenga moment with dominance rallying into maybe Ethereum's merge and Cardano's merge, and then dumping while, Ethereum and Cardano, USD pair move up, Bitcoin follows. That would be a really, really entertaining thing to see. I would very much enjoy that.
Yeah, and my whole thing about looking at those two charts, the reason I find them significant, because what you're going to more often see when you're looking at the USD chart, go back to my screen here real quick, Smay. When you're seeing the volume increase, this is either indicating that people are pumping money into the space, meaning this is money that was not in the crypto world, but now it's coming in to buy, or in this case, they're selling. These are people actually leaving. These are weak retail investors leaving, whereas now we're crashing back down to those same levels, or we did, we're rallying back up right now, but over the last couple of days, we crashed back down, and there's no USD, which means there's nobody taking money out. And those of you who study Wyckoff and know about the Wyckoff method, whether we're talking about accumulation or distribution, and by the way, we don't know yet if this is an accumulation phase or a distribution phase. I have my thoughts, but if this was the accumulation phase, that would make a lot of sense that the price is about to rally, because what they're looking for, these whales, they're looking to see the low volume confirmed to them. There's really just not that much more supply we can shake out of weak-handed people. There aren't a lot. This volume right there, that communicates to the whales, hey, there's a lot of weak hands in the space. Let's pump the price, get them to shake out, come back down, gobble more of their supply. But when they see that low volume, they're saying, oh, there's not a whole lot. Versus we're looking at Tether. This is just money that continues to flow into the crypto space. So when we sell, they're moving it to Tether, and it's going to stay. Even though they have it in USD Tether, the reason they sell it into Tether is because they're like, I don't want to run far with this. I want to be able to put this back into crypto at a good buy spot. And that kind of begs the question with the volatility when you see that volume. I think Caleb Franzen, a very good friend of the show, posted this on his Twitter this morning. Make sure you guys go follow him and check it out. He was talking about his thought. Could this little rally, this little pump we have going on right now, could this be a pump up to 23,000 because there is a whale that wants to dump a lot of Bitcoin, take his profit and get out, or potentially just take the profit and let it crash to that $15,000 level? There's a lot of speculation in that, but there's a lot of very real possibilities that could be playing out. TShroom, did you have a thought on that one?
Yeah, I've got some context to kind of bring to this as well. The rest of the market, like Microsoft is up 2.5%, Google's up almost 2%, Tesla's up 3% today. Like, I think what's going on is personally, and because when I go to CNBC and I look for explanations right now, the explanations are that the Fed is hawkish and that the Fed is determined to raise interest rates to fight inflation. So I think what's going on is that the banks are fighting the Fed. I think the banks are trying to show the Fed something. It's not exactly clear to me what that is, but they're trying to say, hey, we don't care about your rates anymore. We are going to buy these underpriced assets. And, maybe it's just one bank. Maybe it's something, it's some coordinated effort. But that's kind of the conclusion I'm coming to. Why? Because there has to be a tremendous amount of money in order to move markets in the way that I'm seeing right now. And it's all across the board. It's not just crypto. Crypto is seeing a giant boom right now across the board, but it's also the stock market. And it's also, you're also seeing this in gas right now. Oil's up almost 4%. So natural gas is down, but only marginally. But oil's up quite a bit too. So it's like, all assets are just being purchased right now. Not exactly sure what. I mean, you also have the Queen dying last night or yesterday. I doubt that has any correlation to it, but maybe there's some kind of psychological thing there. Maybe anticipating the new monarch there. But again, that's kind of grasping at straws because we know that the UK monarchy doesn't have much effect on the actual policies there in the UK. So I think it's just kind of a big question mark right now. And so when I hear Caleb Franzen tweeting, his guess is as good as anybody else. It could be just a big whale trying to get an exit position on Bitcoin. But the thing that made me realize, dissuade me from that opinion is that the rest of the market's also getting bought aggressively. So not exactly sure what's going on.
Yeah, the whole thing though, and I'll talk about this, and I want to throw it back to Tom because I want to talk about Dixie chart before I let him go because that's another one that I really value his opinion there. But when we're talking about that Wyckoff kind of fake out, the way Wyckoff teaches that a trader should watch this, he says watch for manipulation at these low levels. There will be FUD type of stories. There will be every reason to sell, and yet the price will move up, meaning these whales are manipulating it, and they're buying when everyone else thinks they should be selling, and then they're going to get up to these higher levels, and we're going to get approached more towards that $23,000 level, potentially, and there's going to be a lot of hype that says that the Bitcoin rally could continue, and then that's when the whales sell, they dip the price back down, enter a lot of shorts, and people get liquidated, enter longs, and it comes back down, and it's this constant balancing phase where the whales and these institutions who want to gobble as much supply as possible because they do believe in the fundamentals of this project long term, they're simply saying, how much supply can we continue to get away from weak-handed investors? Or how can we create strong-handed investors to become weak-handed investors by manipulating the space, putting the stories that are FUD in the right moments, putting the stories that are FOMO in the right moments. But what you're looking for, again, in the volume, that's why I'm saying this bottom is so peculiar to me, is these whales and issues are they're looking for low volume bottoms that tell them all the weak are gone. Everyone who can't hold on to this is gone. Everybody that's left is stubborn. They've put their money into their wallets, and they just said, "I'm done with this." So I'm wondering, like that exchange, because we saw a lot of money flowing onto exchanges. Was that whales putting money back onto exchanges simply to begin a season of volatility to see if we can shake out any more people? And we'll see if they do or not. There's still some time to tell. But that's why when I saw that Caleb Franzen made that opinion, that's why I took some merit in it, because I was like, that's exactly what Wyckoff taught when he teaches his accumulation and distribution phases. Tom, what are your thoughts about that? And then when you're finished with that, let's switch over to the Dixie and talk about what's happening over on that chart.
Yeah, Wyckoff, I mean, smart guy. All that psychology, I just learned some about Wyckoff myself right here while you were listening. That also a liquidity game. If a lot of people don't understand that, if you go to sell and you're a really big player, you need lots of people to buy. You need people to sell too. You can't simply just sell billions of dollars of Bitcoin. It's 21K. You can't get it. You will drop the price. It's called slippage. There's not enough liquidity. So that Wyckoff lines up really well with this psychological kind of concepts that I have observed personally. I did want to say about Dixie, and I forget who said it. They're talking about, we have green days kind of across the board right now. Well, I can tell you right now why. The dollar. We've seen this playing in the most boringly predictable fashion. We've had 3 days now of red on the dollar on Dixie after reaching a high. This doesn't mean the rally's over. It doesn't mean it's not going to go higher, but we've had 3 days of red. You look at the S&P 500, you have 3 days of green. You look at Bitcoin, we have 3 days of green. It really, at this moment, and I hate it because I don't want Bitcoin to be, kind of leashed by the dollar. It seems though that at this moment, everything seems to just be kind of counter trading the dollar. And so is it one big whale? I don't think it's ever really like one actor. And I think it's really easy for us to attach kind of a personality and make it someone's fault. Maybe it's a whole market force of, thousands or millions of actors trading all these different pairs of things that are all influencing each other. And it's one big blob of emotion. At the moment, it seems to be just tied to, is the dollar going to keep going up? And I think that makes sense because right now it's a very uncertain time. The Queen dying, may she rest in peace. Probably no direct impact when we want to talk about an economy, but it does add uncertainty to a market that's already uncertain. It certainly could lead to some more volatility because people simply don't know what's going to happen next. I am not an expert on that topic, so I'm going to end that there. It seems that this just waiting, everything's waiting for the dollar to just chill out. And it had a big dump today. It looks like it's getting bought back up. Reminder, it is Friday. And so for everyone else, that means it's the end of the trading week. Where the dollar settles today could be pretty interesting. If you look at the weekly chart, it's very close to a bearish engulfed weekly candle. You have 8 hours left. We could see it close green. We could see it close bearish engulfed. And so far, those have been really strong predictors of how the next week is going to go.
Well, and the other thing, and I'm about to throw it to TShroom for his thought, the other thing to remember is we just had the interest rate hike over in Europe, which we got to wait for the U.S. dollar to get its own here in 2 weeks now, I guess? Yeah. We got to wait for inflation numbers next Wednesday, and then the numbers will come out here in 2 weeks. But that's going to have some pressure on it because, of course, the Dixie's comparing the dollar to other currencies as well. So there's a couple different things. TShroom, I want to get your take, though. Do you have a thought about the dollar specifically? Or?
Well, I was just going to say, it looks... What you're saying is actually pretty accurate. I mean, there's really no other explanation other than the dollar is starting to break support and it is starting to come down and kind of trend lower. We saw, if you're on my screen, Smay, we saw it kind of come down here off the top. We kind of saw it come down here off the top, and now it's looking like it could come down and tap this line of support, this blue line that I have drawn horizontal. A line of support, and then that would have basically from here that would account for, I don't know why I'm out on the 4 hours so zoomed out. Hold on just a second. It would account for us about, I've still got just a second here.
While you're doing that, I think something that is really important to remember, though, and this is something that I've talked about, and Tom and I actually got to talk about this over the other night on Around the Blockchain when we were on together. That is, we also got to remember, go to my screen here, Smay, the trend is your friend until it ends, and guess what price the Dixie has to go below to stop the current bull trend it's in? It's got to drop all the way to 107, about 0.6 or so. That's from I have a yellow line. I don't know what line TShroom is about to show, but that was that big wick we had back here on the 26th of August. Ever since then, though, we've been rallying up, and you guys can see for the longest time now, Way back into January of this year, we have just been setting higher highs and higher lows on the Dixie. And there's been moments where we're like, all right, is the momentum slowing down? And then it'll speed back up. So anyone who's looking at today's bullish candles on Bitcoin, the bearish candles on Dixie, and is celebrating, saying, finally, it's over, it's not over yet. And again, we could bring all the way down and start draw this out, come back down to this support level, and then rally up. I'm still keeping my eyes on that 112 bullish flag, the flagpole, or I guess that's a bullish pennant, breakout up to 112. I'm keeping my eyes on there and saying just because we're dropping right now does not mean that prediction is canceled out. And with all the pressure we have coming in space, still makes a lot of sense. TShroom, did you figure out what you were going for?
Yeah, I mean, I was just having trouble zooming in with this, but so the Dixie's got another 2.5% to come down to the line that I've drawn, around 106, 107 is pretty accurate. I think that's got to be the explanation for why the market is getting bought today, is because the Dixie has broken some major support. I think up here, and it's showing that it is going to come. It hasn't completely broken out of this entire bull run that it's been in, but it is showing that it's going to come back down, and that is bullish for markets because everything's trading against the dollar. But so I think Tom Crown, I think you're absolutely right. The major indicator that's triggered markets here, it's not the comments from the White House, the FUD. It's not. I don't think it has to do with the Queen passing away. I think it has to do with the dollar, and maybe the dollar was influenced by some of those things. But I think the weakness in the dollar here is. But the question is, how long will this stay? I mean, if you play this out where the 13th actually lies, let's see, that's all the way to the 20th. Yeah, the 13th is right around the corner. So this makes perfect sense that this would be where it comes down, because it would play out and come down right here. And so from like a linear standpoint, that would really make a ton of sense. And then on the 13th, we would either break down further, or it would bounce up and come back and do another one of these run-ups to a new high there on the dollar. But yeah, I mean, I'm not guessing anymore. Now I think I understand why the market's doing what it is, and it's the Dixie. And we also always knew that September was going to be extremely volatile. Well, here we are. Welcome to September.
Yeah. Well, hey, Tom, we're about to let you go. We have to award our HODL trophy winners here in a second. But I have one question for you. We had a super chat that was for you from Elliot Locke. He said, at Tim Warren and Tom, with the pump so hard in a short amount of time, how hard would we dump if/when this actually ends? And where can I get those shades? Let's start with the shades answer, and then we'll answer how hard it could actually dump.
Well, the shades answer, I refuse to say the name because they have never given me so much as a 10% off coupon. But I will do you one better. You can go to Google and just type in polarized box frame mirror sunglasses, and you can get yourself a pair that look exactly like these. You'll pay half as much. Very easy peasy. There's different styles, different colors. So go grab them.
That's all it takes to look as cool as you.
That's all it takes to be Tom. We're all Tom Crown. We can all be. You just need to get a pair of sunglasses, I guess. And I totally blanked. How hard could we fall? So,
yeah, with this pump,
that's
what could we fall to?
Always a question. This pump, if we're talking really locally, from maybe our bottom, September to if we have already topped out here today, I think my sights, let me just throw something on chart quick. Of course, it's going to be annoying when I go to do it live. Here we go. In my opinion, just using kind of the Fibonacci extension retracement tool, our 1618. So say we topped out here 21.3, which I'm not sold on yet. But if we did, drawing our fib from 18.5, our 1618 lines up pretty close to that 1700 or 17,000 level. That it's about a little bit under that, just below 17,000. It doesn't guarantee it, of course. Like I said, I don't think I have a feeling that we might see, even if it's a slower upside continuation into the weekend, as the dollar isn't trading. It's really going to come down to the close there. But I would be looking, if we see rejection here and we don't find support at exactly 20K, which is what 2021's open, 2000's open. something like that. If we don't find support there, I mean, I'm looking at a retest to the lows if we break 18.6. So not the greatest news, but we're not there yet. So
go to my screen real quick, Smay. I'm going to be very, very fast with this. I told you guys I think that there's actually a very solid chance that we're going to 23. I talked about this yesterday. I just thought we were going to 18 first. We didn't go to 18 first. We're heading back up. Keep your eyes right now, and when you're using the fixed volume profile, we are sitting currently at a very key level at 21,150. I think that a really good question is going to be what happens at 21,500. If we can climb that and get above it, it's pretty easy pick'ems all the way up to 23,000. That's why people are talking about 22.8, 23,000. But it might not just shoot up there. It might be a little bit of a stair climb, and then you're talking about falling back down to those levels. This is a part of what happens in volatile seasons. Remember, we've been talking about this range in volume, and again, keep your eyes around 19,000 and anywhere around 21.6, 7, 22,000. It's not surprising to see the price go a little bit above, a little bit below, but stick in these ranges. We're climbing back up, but we're going to get overextended and probably have a fall back down at least to 19, if not 18, and then explore, do we accumulate right now and move back to the upside, or is this just a distribution phase and it's time to go a little lower? That's what you guys should be expecting on Bitcoin. Tom, thank you so much for joining. We're going to have you on again really soon. It's always a blast to be able to collab with you. Love getting your take on how the market's looking.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys. If you're not subscribed, I'm a YouTuber. Go subscribe. I've been putting out a lot of beginner trading content, so kind of mixing up what I've been doing, help to bring in some new eyes, and I'd love to have any of you come check me out. I'm going to be streaming at 1 o'clock today.
Yeah. After
you guys are done, so I'll be probably sitting here listening to you in the background, and it's been great here. And I'll have you all on my channel at some point too. I don't know how many at once, but.
All right, Tom. Take care, man. We'll talk to you later.
Cheers.
Yeah, in case you guys do not already, go follow him right now. Go subscribe to his channel. Follow him on Twitter as well. I believe there are links in the description down below. If not, we'll make sure to get them in there later. Well,
They're there, baby.
We're a little past. It's 6 minutes past, but it is time to award the winners, not only in office of the HODL Trophy, which I'm going to go ahead and just spoil this. It is TShroom. He had the highest prediction of 20. We had 20,200, I believe, because mine was 19,700. Smay's was 19,200. He is the in-office HODL Trophy winner. He gets to win it. But what was special about this week is we are now going to allow you guys as fans to be able to compete. And the winner, we didn't announce what the winner's going to do. The winner will have his name shout out every single stream for the week. He or she gets that confidence. They get the right to just rub it in people's faces.
The honor
for a week. It's an honor. The right. Yeah. It's right, honor, same thing. And here's I'm going to tell you guys, if you guys went back and watched Monday's stream when we announced this was happening, I told you guys that there's going to be some broken hearts. That's exactly what happened. So I told you guys to comment down below. The price, by the way, was sitting right at 21,000, give or take, when the 1055 mark hit. And there was someone in chat, I think it was Wind Peoples. Wind Peoples said 21,000 in the chat, right?
Oh, no.
But do you remember how you enter to win?
No.
You have to say it in the comment section. And so, with that being said, the winner of the first Coffee and Crypto Community prediction is OMan13 with a prediction of 20,800. So for the next week, every single stream, we'll be giving a special shout out to Omen13 because I don't even know if that's a boy or a girl. So I'm going to say he for now until we're corrected.
That's a great decision to make.
I don't know.
It's a man. I like that.
I do know the numbers are swinging. It used to be like literally 92% crypto people were males and like 8% were female. That number is swinging. I don't know the exact number. There are more females coming in space, but if we're just playing odds say that it more than likely is a male.
Yeah, you could step into 2022 and say they,
I could say they. They, as in Omen13, are the first week winners. Make sure every single week you guys come in on Mondays, leave your prediction in the comments, not the chat. I'm so sorry, Win Peoples. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
because you would have won. You would have won because you nailed it. Yeah. But you didn't put it in the comment section.
Yeah.
That stinks. Let's
So-
go ahead and read some chat. I know I saw some super chats there. Before we close out today's stream, it was a very fun stream. I love getting to talk to Tom. Were there any good questions you guys saw in chat? And let's get some of those super chats as well.
Well, we have plenty of super chats to read, so let's not jump the gun on those regular
Boom.
chats just yet. All right, so we have here, well, just to rehash, Elliot Locke gifted 5 Crypto Jebb memberships. You know I love more green names. Next we have from Eric Wallen. Isn't it bizarre how bearish you feel one day and then bullish the next? That's called emotional volatility, and we all have it, baby.
You know, we discussed that. I thought there was probably going to be another day or two of bearish before bullish, but we talked about that over this week, that we're going to be expecting a bullish pump. I said, don't expect, if you think we're going down to $10,000 or 15 or whatever it is, we're not going to make a straight line. We're actually going to have some bullish momentum first. I just thought it would take us a little longer to get there. So it happens. Right. That is part of Bitcoin. Some days are bullish, some days are bearish, and you got to kind of strap in and get ready for a roller coaster at all times.
Because no one's going to know where it's going to be at. All right. Next we have here, Elliot Locke says, Smay, you got those buttons, bro. Just don't push the red one. That's my job. Okay. But so to be honest with you guys, yeah, the buttons have been really kicking my butt today, and the buttons over here to run the stream. You know, it's like, you know,
a lot of buttons.
But I think my finger's a little too chubby. I don't know what's going on. I can barely hit the buttons. But anyways, next super chat here we got from Lucky Thoughts. Litecoin L Lieutenant. I think that's what that means. Litecoin Lieutenant knows how to chart.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he's referring to is I wanted to get some there, but we didn't get there with the conversation. Those of you who don't know, if you love Litecoin, Tom Crown is your guy. He likes him some Litecoin. I'm not too much of a Litecoin fan.
Is that like a nickname, Litecoin Lieutenant?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Potentially.
Okay.
I don't know if, yeah, maybe. But I know he likes Litecoin. I know he talks about it frequently on his channel. So again, if you're a Litecoin fan, you're going to want to subscribe to Tom Crown. So he talks about it a lot.
Nothing's better than Litecoin except Bitcoin and Ethereum and Cardano. And anyways, next we have here, Elliot Locke said, oh, you guys already read that one.
Yep,
so shout out to you, Elliot Locke. Thank you for your love and support. TShroom, do you have any favorite chats today?
I did see
that you put
one.
in a tweet.
I did.
Yeah. Are you gonna tweet out a favorite chat?
I did. Oh well, it's what Mike Markle said. That was really, really funny. Wake me up when September ends. Right, the quote from the Green Day song.
I mean, September is shaping up to be a decent little month, but we will see. I mean, that's the question we have for Ethereum next week. Will that be a sell? Which, by the way, even though we had that conversation with Harry yesterday, and we were talking about what the future looks like, I still think there's going to be more bullish action. I don't think Ethereum's going to drop like 30%. I do think that we will have at least a light sell the news event after the merge. The question is, will we go down 5%? 10%, 20%, but I think it's going to come back a lot faster. That is something that's happening next week. So let's watch what happens with that. It might line up just perfectly because it'll come out right there at the CPI numbers. That's the 13th as well. It'll come out right around the time that Bitcoin, if it continues this little rally, is going to be sitting closer to 23,000, which is our target that we're saying watch 23,000 as a potential place for a lot of people to be taking profit on Bitcoin and to send it back down towards 19,000 or lower. And, of course, we have the Ethereum merge launching either that day or within the next 2 days. And that's when you're going to start seeing the sell the news start to happen. And then the week after that, we got Cardano Vassal hard fork, presumably. I know I looked at this morning. I just checked it to make sure. Charles is expecting the 22nd. He can't make that happen. Technically speaking, that's just his expectation. Yeah. It is up to the SBOs. I believe there's like over 3,000 of them. They're the ones that have to vote to finally release it. That's the beauty of decentralization. But the bad side of that is if they vote no, then we got to continue to wait because it is a decentralized project. So all those dates are kind of lining up. Potentially the 13th could be a really big decision maker for if September is going to be a good month or not. But as of today, it's looking like it has some hope.
Yeah. And is that the end of the super chats? Smay?
I think that is.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Okay. I do want to take a little bit of a victory lap here because I didn't get to relish in my moment here of winning the
I prefer the mustard.
The HODL trophy. Smay, if you could just kind of keep your comments to a minimum during my relish period.
Okay,
here.
sorry.
I do want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, but I also want to thank the Dixie for coming down off of those highs and bringing prosperity and green to the equity and crypto charts. And I want to thank also Tim and Smay for being my partners in this and really helping me win by picking the wrong predictions. So yeah, it's been great, and I'm gonna be running a little bit easier today on the treadmill, knowing that I've got the wind behind my back. Excellent, thank you.
Yeah. That was
It's
I did it
weird.
on purpose. I said, you know what? I'm tired of winning, and it's darn near time that TShroom got a W in his name.
You know what? I have a thing to say.
What you
I
got?
think the reason why I haven't been winning is because I don't have the turtles anymore. The turtles are no longer able to speak to me, and I'm not able to get these accurate price predictions. I don't know what's going on to me, Tim.
It could be that.
What should I do about it?
It could be. I mean, you did just get a lizard.
Should I start consulting him and see what he thinks?
Maybe the lizards aren't as good at predicting the prices of crypto as turtles. You know,
Maybe.
turtles must be the superior being to
It
lizards.
seems that's the case. And I am the king of turtles, so I might need to go to a local pond and start consulting wild turtles.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I'm going to be back in the W column. Guess it's so nice. It's so nice that TShroom gets to predict first on Monday, and then we can do our little trap of him and lock him in to a $500 range that he actually gets to win on.
And I'm absolutely going down to a lower end, so because I go last. So this is great.
This is true. So you're saying I need to go above whatever his prediction is?
Yes.
Okay, good to know. We're colluding.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it after the stream. Well, everybody, that is all we have for you in today's show, but I got a couple announcements I want to make sure I leave you with before we go, because you don't want to miss any of these things. The first piece of information you need to know is tonight at 6 p.m., the weekend wrap-up will be coming out. Some of you are asking, Tim, what are you talking about? What is the weekend wrap-up? Well, go back and look at it. Every single Friday, we've been actually bringing you guys content to let you know what happened. In case you missed any of our shows or you haven't been paying attention to the charts, we go ahead and rock it. We'll put it all up into one video where we tell you all the big breaking news that you might have missed, as well as what the prices of at least Bitcoin and Ethereum did, if not some other interesting altcoins as well. You don't want to miss it. Set that notification for it. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss those. But Friday night, 6 p.m., weekend wrap-ups. The next piece of information I have for you is our guest lineup, which is phenomenal next week. You don't want to miss a single show. If you do, you have the weekend wrap up, so that's the nice cover up there. But what you can be looking forward to next week. George will be joining us on Tuesday. That is Cryptos Are Us. I'm super excited to have him on the show. Magic Internet Money Kagan, one of the best traders I have ever met, is joining us on Monday. Caleb Franz and Wednesdays are continuing, so you don't want to miss Caleb. CVO will join us on Thursday, talking about trading altcoins. And the last one, Forrest from Crypto Stackers, will be joining us next Friday. Make sure you don't miss a single one of those streams. And my last announcement, because this is the best community in all of crypto, comes from one of our community members, and I'm super excited to get to talk about this because I love when you guys feel like you're a part of what we're doing. So Mike Markle, one of our moderators, one of my favorite people in crypto, reached out to me and wanted me to let everybody know there will be a Twitter Spaces happening on the 15th. He's going to be hosting. Go to my screen here real quick. In case you guys don't follow him already, he's at Kind Crypto Duder. That just tells you kind of who he is. He's a Kind Crypto Duder. But he's having a next week, 9:15. That's Thursday, I believe, at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 10:30 p.m. UTC. He's going to be having a Twitter Spaces for everyone who's involved in Invadas. If you are looking for a great community to join in an NFT space, make sure you do not miss it. It's going to be a blast. Shout out to Mike Markle. I love him so much. So glad he's doing more in the space. You can go off my screen now. That is all I have for you when it comes to announcements. But everybody, this is the last stream of the week. I just want you guys to all know we love and appreciate every single last one of you for staying with us on this journey. Once again, this whole point of the channel is not about it's about we. And that's not we as in me, TShroom, and Smay. That's we as in every single person who joins us every single day. Whether you're a green name or blue name or white name, or whether you're a member of Club DeFi, this is a we that we're going to continue to uplift and build each other up so that we all can accomplish #FinSov, financial sovereignty, where we have control over our money, not our money having control over us. If that is something you love and you're not subscribed, you're not a part of this community, I heavily encourage you to join today. That is all I have for you in this video, however, and guess what? I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
Oh, I got a real good feeling.